Today we're gonna make pasta alla Genovese. If you haven't tried this before, you are in for a treat. It is an onion sauce. There are a lot of onions in it and not too many other ingredients. Here they are. Let's get into it right now. Jim, I know you go over the ingredients every time and you say it helps me. I know that and I wanna help you, so we're gonna do it again for this video, okay? Let's go over here. The star of the show is the onions. 5 pounds of onions I finally diced. That's why my eyes are red. Okay, I just did it like 10 minutes ago. Sometimes I'll prep ingredients the night before, but you don't want to do that with onions, trust me. No matter how tightly you wrap them, they will stink up everything. So I just diced them now, ready to go. The other big flavoring agent here is the beef. So I have 2.5 pounds of chuck roast. This will be roughly the perfect amount, but you could buy a 3 pound, a 3.5 pound roast. You could even get by with like 2 pounds of chuck roast. Traditionally in Italy, this dish is most of the time separated into 2 meals. Most of the Americanized versions you will find always combine it. I'm gonna do that today because I actually really like it this way, okay? But the choice is yours. You can get 2 full meals out of this. Another thing, traditionally in Italy, they'll use this long ziti right here that I have, and they will crack it. They'll hand crack it. But it's easier just to buy regular cut ziti already. I prefer the quality of this particular pasta over this one. Though this is a good brand, I still err towards the Cecco. This is really just a beef sauce, beef ragu, whatever you want to call it, and you're gonna make a sofrito. I took 1 large onion, I finely diced it, 1 celery rib, I finely diced. Yes, that's it, that is a carrot.
I was like, what? There's more onions in addition to the 5 pounds.
I'll keep going. The pancetta, I have about 1/3 pound or 150 grams. We'll dice that up. It's easier if you keep it a little frozen. Parmesan cheese for at the end, we'll grate on top of it. I think that would be more traditional than pecorino, though I always like pecorino more, but I'll stick to this today. Extra virgin olive oil, even though we have all that pancetta fat, we will add some olive oil. 1.5 cups of dry white wine. That's gonna keep the onions moist. We gotta keep these onions moist for a long period of time. There's a 2-stage cooking process to this. Moist onions and then caramelization onions at the end. You almost get like an onion cream sauce. Okay, and then we have a little bit of water too, again, just to keep the onions moist. You can do this on the stovetop or you can do it in the oven. I'll show you how to do it right now. Okay, so I have the pancetta here. So yeah, it's about 6 ounces, 5 ounces, about 1/3 pound. You don't have to be super specific with it. Normally there'll be a paper over here, like if you buy it, but just remove that paper if it's there. It's already defrosted a little bit, but when it's pretty frozen, you can slice it very easily. And I'm just gonna take like little chunks of it. So there's our pancetta diced up. We're gonna use this right away, so this is like the first ingredient you need. We can also do the same with our beef. We made this video. I'm sorry it's gonna happen. I will end up taking it down. But if you saw my old video, it's roughly 5 years ago, okay, when I first started this channel. I'm not gonna do much different here today. The audio's better. Hopefully my delivery's a little better. This is the chuck roast, 2.5 pounds. I'm just gonna cut it into 3 big chunks, well, 6 big chunks. Okay, nice big chunks like this. Now listen, if you're gonna have this roast for a meal, you don't need to do this. You can just put the whole roast in the pot. And I think that's what I did in that first video. I don't think I cut it into chunks. I'm gonna leave all this fat here, okay? As some people say, fat is flavor. It is flavor, but you know, there's an amount that you want and there's an amount you don't want. This is fine. I'll season that chuck roast when we're gonna sear it. If I season it now with salt and pepper, it's just gonna wick a lot of moisture and prevent me from getting a really good sear. Get a big Dutch oven. You need a big Dutch oven, or you need a regular heavy pot, an 8-quart heavy pot. We gotta fit that much, 5 pounds of onions in. This one's inexpensive. This is a lodge, okay? This is not a Le Creuset. You can buy 4 of these lodges or 5 for the price of 1 Le Creuset. Okay, medium heat, and then get the pancetta in there. Since the pancetta has a lot of fat, you don't need to even put olive oil, but I'll put a little bit here just to get it started, and we're gonna use more later anyway. Also, the pancetta I'm using here has a lot of pork in there versus fat ratio. Sometimes you'll get a thing of pancetta and it'll just be like all white, all fat. We're gonna let this go on about medium heat, maybe a 4 out of 10, okay? So that means a touch less than medium heat. We don't wanna burn this. We just wanna liquefy all of this fat. And then we're gonna use that fat to sear our beef in. Maybe you shouldn't buy this pot. Maybe you should get a Le Creuset because this keeps getting super dark. Even when I have my heat really low, I just popped it off for a second. Even when you're using a fat like this pancetta, you can put a little bit of water in there. You can basically remove all that, and then your heat is going to dissipate that water in a second, and then it will start sauteing again. Because what's gonna happen is if it just keeps getting blacker and blacker, darker and darker on the bottom of the pot, it will start burning at some point. I almost feel like this pancetta has like a little bit of sugar in it or something. Mapley color, but it smells great. Okay, so here's our beef. I just patted it dry again. I'm just watching my pancetta so I don't burn. I have my heat very low now, but basically like after that water evaporated, I'm keeping it like on a 3 out of 10. Salt, pepper, season your meat. Try to hit all sides, but at least two of the major sides. Okay, just remove the pancetta. You could put it on like paper towel lined plate, okay, and just start getting it out of there. If you don't get all the pieces, don't, freak out. I would use a slotted spoon, but you're not really supposed to do that on a pot like this. I gotta get some silicone slotted spoons. There's our pot, looking good. We'll just wanna get some nice contact here. I think I've used this in another video or two, because you can't, normally people like say, oh, I'm just gonna use a pan, or what, you can't get it in here. But this thing, my smash burger thing, it's heavy. I can put a lot of weight on it, and that's just gonna get really flat contact on the bottom there. We'll get a sear on our beef quicker. Okay, we just wanna brown the beef on most sides here. Okay, so it's been just medium heat, and it's only been like 2 minutes. See that? It's beautiful already, just like that. Very easy to do this quickly, just by doing that one little secret trick that you only learn on Sip and Feast. It's been about maybe 12 minutes. Like I did like 4 sides. I didn't do all the sides. I'm gonna pull off this thing. Let's just get the meat out of here. I'm gonna put the vegetables in. We should just like kind of get a little bit of liquid in here to deglaze that so it doesn't burn. Okay, just a touch. A little bit of salt. I wanna get these nice and soft. Your heat does not have to be high. It could be like a 4 out of 10. Continue to just knock down the sides. If you feel like you're burning at all, lift your pot off, okay, remove it, or splash of water. But just let it go. We want to get them nice and soft, bring out the sweetness of these vegetables. Okay, so these have gone for about 10 minutes. You can let them go even longer. We can cook this the whole time on the stovetop, or you can do it the easy way. If you want to do it the easy way, set your oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit to 300 degrees. It doesn't really matter, okay? 1.5 cups of dry white wine here. Turn the heat up to high. Flat edge spoon, okay, flat edge of your spoon, see this? And then you're gonna keep doing it, especially it works better once the liquid starts boiling, but then you're gonna be able to remove any of those bits, okay? You're gonna dislodge them, and it's gonna go into the sauce. Now, truth is, it doesn't really matter if you do this or not, because you've been cooking it for 4 hours, it's all gonna go into the sauce anyway, okay? But this is just like good technique to get in the habit of doing. All right, we're just gonna let this reduce by about half. It's gonna take them anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the power of your stove. Okay, that's reduced by about half. Listen, err on the side of not reducing it all the way by half, all right? It doesn't matter, because we wanna just cook these in enough liquid so that they don't burn. I'm just lowering my heat now to like a 4 out of 10. You can almost just turn off your heat. It doesn't even matter right now. Okay, 5 pounds of onions. Oh, I didn't even tell you what onions I used. I used white onion. Okay, but you can use yellow onion, which is more your typical onion that most people use. They're the cheapest in the store. They come in bags. You can even use red onion for this. I've used all different onions for this over the years. I haven't really noticed any difference. But I like white onions because we buy them, you can get them really large now, and you don't want to be peeling like 35 onions for this. Get the biggest onions you can find. It'll make it simpler. So I'm mixing all that little bit of liquid that we have, that wine. A little bit more salt on here just to draw the water out of these onions. We're gonna put all that pancetta back in here. So here's the meat. Okay, look at all the juices on that meat. All the juices. Okay, get it all in. Honestly, you could just keep the meat on top for now. It doesn't matter. All right, all that meat juice is gonna go into the onions anyway. Half a cup of water, because even with that wine, we reduced not enough. Okay, let's just do double insurance here for this. My heat right now is on pretty much low for 3 hours. Every 30 minutes, open your lid and then stir it around. Make sure you have enough liquid in there. If you don't, add another quarter, half a cup of water, mix it around again. You don't want to burn it. You don't want to burn the bottom of your pot. You know, if you watch this channel, you know what I'm going to say. Why not do it the easy way? That easy way is the oven. You won't burn it. You have a tight lid like this, you're going to get barely any evaporation. Put it in the oven for 3 hours. All right, so it's been 3 hours in the oven. I checked it for probably 2 times I went down. I think I checked it first at an hour mark. I'll show you right now. See that? There's still plenty of liquid here. So, but that's why we used 1.5 cups of wine and we used a 1/2 cup of water for insurance. And I'll just see if you can see a lot of the liquid in here. Probably I have about 1.5 inches high of liquid here, which is totally fine. 3 hours, let's check the beef, make sure it's tender before you remove it. So just go to your beef, okay, any piece. See this, how it's like shredding apart already? Look at this, super tender, okay? These pieces are extremely tender, almost like falling apart tender. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this beef out of here and then we're gonna put this on a burner. Once it cools, I'll shred it up and we'll put it back in our onion ragu at the end. And you're not gonna get every piece. Some of these pieces are already broken off and very small, which is fine. It's already the bite size that you want. It will obviously shrink as you cook it, so you know, some of the water weight from the beef and the fat will liquefy. I'm just gonna put this off to the side. Don't tent it with foil, we want it to cool. We're on the stove. Now remember, if you were cooking it on the stove the whole time, you were, every 30 minutes, you were checking, you were adding a touch of water if you were starting to dry out. If you're in the oven, you're not really gonna have to worry. I'm turning my heat to about a 6 out of 10, okay? Maybe a touch more for now. You could even go higher because you have so much liquid in here. We wanna get this liquid concentrated and reduced into the onions. We're essentially gonna be able to almost caramelize the onions and they're gonna get very soft. They're extremely soft already. Traditionally, you're supposed to make it like this. It's a big no-no to put tomato in it. What do you think, Tara? You think it would be good with tomato in it? I think it would be really good to put some tomato paste in it.
I think it would be. I actually, when I eat this dish, it actually really reminds me of French onion soup.
Yeah.
Like it has like that beefy, oniony flavor. Do you put tomato paste in your French onion soup?
I do, I do.
Okay, so then there's, to me, there's your answer.
Yeah,
like,
just a touch.
It would be good.
But I'll do it the old-fashioned way. It's gonna take about an hour, and then once the liquid's gone, we're gonna have to like regulate our heat to about medium, and we're gonna have to, basically, we're doing almost caramelized onions. You're gonna have to lift your pot up, add a little bit of water. That's why I have a little cup of water by you. It's not that hard, but you can't leave this alone. Okay, this has been about maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes that I would like power reduce the liquid. There's not that much liquid in here now. So when I go like this, okay, now if I keep it at this level, this is like basically an 8 out of 10, like this is like medium high to high. It'll just start burning once we get to caramelization. So I'm gonna go back to about medium, and then I'm just gonna let it keep like gradually sucking more and more liquid out of here, and then finally they'll start caramelizing. Most of this beef you can just shred, like there'll be a little bit of fat on it, but not so much. A lot of it will have liquefied by this point. There's some like a little bit here, but I wouldn't really worry about that. Something like this, which is like pretty much complete fat here, all right? You can eat that if you like, but it's not something that you need to save here. And it's definitely not, it's gonna make your sauce way less clean. I'm not telling you to go crazy with this fat because it will make you go crazy. It's a chuck roast, it has fat in it. We're gonna throw it back in with the onions and let it cook for the last 20 minutes of it. But right now, I just wanna shred all this into essentially bite-sized pieces, kind of like that. Okay, so see, still liquid there a little bit. It's just sucking more of it out with this higher heat, but you have to be careful. All right, we'll just keep going with it. It's been like 20 minutes maybe. Probably got to do another 30 minutes, 40 minutes if you like. There's all our beef, this delicious shredded beef. And it's easier for me to caramelize these onions and cook them down without the beef in it. It's been roughly 30 minutes, 35 minutes, I think. A lot less liquid in here now. Okay, see that? But we're good because I'm regulating the heat. You can almost take your spoon now and just smash the onions. Everything's getting like very creamy, a lot softer. All right, we're just gonna keep going with it though. We started with 5 pounds of onions, filled this whole entire pot. You can see we don't have that much in here now. We have enough essentially for 1 to 1.5 pounds of pasta. This is that smoothness right there, okay? Easily cook this for another 30 minutes, another hour if you like. So here's our beef. I'm gonna add in probably half of it. Tara, I think, wants to eat some of it plain later without pasta, but you know, you could add it all in if you like. And don't worry if you're getting too dry here. You can add a little bit of water now, but you can also just, if you're gonna sauce a full pound, you're gonna save your pasta water regardless. I'm only gonna do a 1/4 pound of pasta now for the taste tester. So I just have a 1/4 pound of ziti right here. Salted water, obviously. We'll finish the pasta with some of this sauce in a pan. Boil your pasta. Let's take a taste of this. I don't think it's gonna need any salt. That is good. If you want more of a wine punch, I also like to add like another cup of wine at this point and just let it reduce again. It'll give you more of that taste. I'm gonna put in some pepper. By the way, cook your pasta to 1 to 2 minutes less than al dente because we're gonna finish it in the sauce here. I just wanna tell you, you don't have to do this. You know, you have a big batch here. If you wanna make a pound of pasta, you just wanna mix it in a bowl, that's completely fine. If that's the case, cook your pasta then to exactly how you like it. A little bit less than medium heat. I don't need a lot of heat here. Take a nice spoonful of it. And I'm boiling a quarter pound of pasta. It's just a little bit of pasta water to start it. So I don't even think I boiled a quarter. I think I boiled just an eighth of a pound of pasta or something. I didn't measure it right. But this is fine for the taste tester.
Who is the taste tester today?
It's going to be you.
I know. A normal taste tester is out for the count.
All right, just a touch of pasta water. This is probably a couple minutes, maybe 3 minutes from being from the pasta being done. So if you're using a big pan, I mean, you've seen me do this a billion times, 1 pound of pasta. I always break out the 14-inch pan to do it. Do a little butter too. All right, Tara, it's gonna be very al dente for you, but that's how you like it.
That's how I like it.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off the heat right now. I already tasted the sauce, tastes amazing. I'm gonna put some cheese on. So again, if you're doing the pound, you would just do like about a half a cup's worth, I would say, would be good. This is just a block of Parmesan cheese, Parmigiano Reggiano. Would you like more cheese on there?
Yes.
Okay.
Please. It looks really good and it smells really good. I wish the taste tester felt better. You made the pasta just how I like it.
Oh, good.
Because I said I like it pretty firm. I said it before, the flavors definitely remind me a lot of French onion soup because it's like the onion flavor that's cooked for a very long time with the beef. It's really good. I mean, I would just want to sit here and eat the whole plate. I don't really drink, but this would be great with a glass of wine. It's not a hard dish to make, but it definitely takes a long time.
Yeah, it's not a weekday dish.
It's not a weeknight meal. It's definitely a great Sunday meal.
But I do think you should experiment, and if you like tomato, I would say 2-3 ounces of tomato paste.
Yeah.
I honestly think it probably would make it better.
I think it's excellent. I definitely think, I think you, the audience, you should make it.
Oh, I think it definitely, you want that Parmesan on there. Oh man, that makes it.
Yeah, it does.
That makes it way better.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
I will take it.
It's delicious.
I will take it.
Make it.
What is going to be our next Patreon long form video that we do?
It's going to be the Thanksgiving meal. Now, that's going to be the next thing we film. I don't know when this Genovese video is going to air.
That's true. The Thanksgiving video will have already been out by that point.
Probably.
Which will be full meal video number 5. Consider subscribing. There's 3 levels. We do full meal videos on there now. They're longer videos. They're like appetizers, sides, drinks, and a full meal. So listen, if you're a fan of us, that is the best way that you could support us. We're really trying to grow that Patreon. We have about 1,100 members now, I think. You know, we get that to a point, I don't know. I don't know what that will mean. We'll just be able to do more content there, I think. But we won't stop doing the YouTube videos either because we love you watching here.
I'll have a little bit more.